of that. Now, Victor, your overall thoughts on what has taken place with Dillian White and Alicia Baumgardner, and I wrap this up by asking also, how rampant are illegal PEDs in the year 2023 in your view?
Well, relative to when VADA started back in 2011, the beginning of 2012 was the first tests that were done on, if you recall, it was Nonito Donaire did 24/7, 365 back in 2012. And by the way, he also won Boxing Writers Association Fighter of the Year with 4 wins over Juan Manuel Marquez, who knocked out Manny Pacquiao. So it shows you that a champion can, be clean and do remarkable things in the world of boxing. Now back to say it was 80% before, and maybe it's 60% now. I still think it's a majority. And the reason is because the promoters are not doing adequate testing. And in particular, I'll tell you who the worst are is Eddie Hearn and Matchroom, and Al Heyman and PBC. Now, they may do testing at an event of just the headliner, okay? But other guys on the card, like my fighters, like a Demetrius Andrade, who fought in January on the card in DC with Tank, okay? He wasn't tested at all, 0. How do you have a 2-time world champion in a pay-per-view event with 21,000 people there and have 0 testing?
And that's the thing. Opposed to like baseball or even football, I'd say when you're hitting with your fists and the object of the sport is to inflict pain, that's when steroids are that's when, in which I'm sure you would agree, that it becomes dangerous and perhaps even lethal.
What's going on, baby? What's happening with you, YouTube? It's the co-host that be doing the most, Cam the Baptist, 1/3 of the apostles of the YouTube Boxing Nation, here at you with what we like to call another one. Now check this out, man. We have with us today another one. We looking at another positive drug test that has been brought to the light in recent news. Now, what's crazy, we just heard Victor Conti, founder and CEO of VADA testing facilities and the snack nutritional supplement. We heard him report that the rampant usage of performance-enhancing drugs has been crazily still utilized by a great number of fighters. Even worse still, he named the primary culprits who are responsible for allowing these drug cheats to run rampant in our sport to continue competing, even at a high level: Matchroom and PBC. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let's take a look here and let's pull this up so we can review this together. Now, this is according to Boxing Scene, right? Here we go. You get this pulled up for y'all real quick. I don't want to be before y'all too long. We gotta get ready to slide out. There we are. Now, this is according to Boxing Scene. This was just released yesterday. It's been breaking news all over the internet here in the boxing community because it's really crazy. I don't even understand why it's going on, but yet and still we have another one. All right, so check this out. Heavyweight fighter Robert HELENIUS tests positive for a banned substance in his VADA test. Now, according to Boxing Scene, heavyweight contender Robert HELENIUS is the latest boxer to test positive for a banned substance. As part of a drug test administered by VADA, HELENIUS tested positive for a banned substance in connection to his recent fight with former two-time world champion Anthony Joshua, which took place on August 12th at the O2 Arena in London. Ironically, HELENIUS had replaced DILLIAN WHYTE on just a week's notice. White was immediately pulled from a scheduled rematch with Joshua after testing positive for a performance-enhancing drug during his VADA testing protocol. The test result will not affect the outcome, as HELENIUS was brutally knocked out by Joshua in the 7th round. According to Matchroom Boxing, the test in question was taken a day before the fight. Promoter Eddie Hearn of Matchroom was informed of the positive test on Friday. Matchroom Boxing said, and this was the, let me take a look at this. Today, the Voluntary Anti-Doping Association, VADA, has informed Matchroom and the British Boxing Board of Control that Robert HELENIUS has returned an adverse analytical finding as part of a random anti-doping protocol. HELENIUS was voluntarily tested on Friday, August the 11th, before the heavyweight fighter's defeat by Anthony Joshua in London on Saturday, the 12th of August. The result was made known to Matchroom just yesterday. Now it was released yesterday. I'm reporting on it today. I was at work. Dang it. Matchroom defers to the relevant regulatory authorities on next steps. We vehemently continue to support voluntary anti-doping testing. We are committed to promoting a clean and fair sport for all athletes. On August 16th, news broke that undisputed super featherweight champion Alicia Baumgardner had tested positive for a banned substance in connection to her decision win over Christina Leonardatu in July. Adding to that, welterweight contender Conor Benn is still embroiled in a legal fight over his positive drug test just over a year ago. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what you just heard, we just heard Victor Conte state that Matchroom Boxing with Eddie Hearn is the biggest known promotional company that allows for their fighters' VADA testing results to only be released to the promoters themselves, and the promoter will kind of decide if he or she wants to release them to the public and decide what next steps to take, etc., and the like. But if you just heard that Eddie Hearn and Matchroom were number one, this is now the fourth fighter within the last year who has tested positive for a banned substance in their VADA testing, and the third fighter this year. The third fighter this year that has come from the Matchroom Boxing stable that has tested positive for an illegally banned substance here in the sport of boxing. Now, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we have no room for that kind of nonsense in the sport, especially if we are trying to clean it up, we are trying to regulate it, and especially if guys who are fans of certain fighters want to immediately defer to performance-enhancing drugs as a means of an excuse when their fighter gets his ass whooped. Now, I'm not going to be before y'all long, man. I just want to come in and touch on this and cook on this because, once again, Eddie Hearn and Matchroom is guilty. And like we always said, you know, the primary culprits and the people that are always at the forefront, right, it just seems like this is a way to get over. This is a way to manufacture champions to be able to potentially position them for big fights, title fights, and be able to keep your promotional company in the front running or in the runnings, if you will, to really try and keep up with what PBC has been doing. Because of the number of large fights that we have received this year from the PBC, it seems as though other promotional companies are lagging. Other promotional companies are falling behind. They're falling by the wayside. And unfortunately, they're scrambling, reaching, trying to find something or some way to keep them back in the runnings. And as we know, another one has bit the dust and tested positive for a banned substance, ladies and gentlemen. Man, I got to get up out of here. But listen, y'all hit the like and subscribe. Y'all make sure y'all comment below. Let us know how you feel about this nonsense in the sport of boxing, man. There's no room for it. We need to get rid of these guys. We need to figure out a way to regulate this better. Yeah, like I said, it's your main man, Cam the Baptist, 1/3 of the Apostles, and I'm out this thing. Peace. Another one.